Welcome to the January 14th, 2026 meeting of the Town of Concord Historic Districts Commission. I'm Tim Whitney, the Vice Chair. The Commission will review 5 new applications, 1 continuing application, and 3 items on other business. I want to note that we will not be reviewing Concord Center for Visual Arts because we're not able to achieve a quorum on that particular project. That's the only one that we will not be able to review tonight. We are conducting this meeting online in accordance with the Commonwealth of Massachusetts Executive Order suspending certain provisions of the open meeting law. Public may access this call through both telephone and video conferencing. Members of the public will have an opportunity to ask questions and provide public comment on applications and discussions following the petitioner's presentation and questions from the commission. To do so, please raise your hand in the participant function of the Zoom meeting platform. If you are calling in and cannot use the platform, you may raise your hand by dialing *9. Our host will mute microphones of those not speaking, and in order to preserve bandwidth, may turn off video, with the exception of the commissioners, the host, and the current applicant. The chair will call on commissioners for comments on an application and then open the meeting for public comment. Once there are no more public comments, I will ask for a motion for the commission to continue, to approve the conditions, or to reject. There will be a second, and we will conduct a roll call vote. Once the commission has acted on an application, the applicant is free to leave the meeting. I'll now have a roll call for members. Walter Clay.
Here.
Bill Hewitt.
Here.
Louis Caldarella.
Here.
Dennis Fiore.
Here.
And Kate Chartner. Kate, I guess you're excused from
Right.
being our current chair. Kate is very under the weather, but she's going to be speaking as an applicant. So we have, starting with new public hearings, we will start with 32 Monument Street, which is in the North Ridge Monument Square Historic District, regarding some asphalt shingle replacement. Is there someone here who can speak to that?
I'm Michael Glick from Colonial Inn.
Yep.
Yeah.
Hi, Michael.
Good evening. How is everyone tonight?
Don't see you. Are you off video?
Okay. How about now?
Yeah, there you are.
Okay. Sorry about that.
No problem. Thank you.
Okay. So Rebecca's house at 30 Monument Street, we're looking to remove the existing approximately 50-year-old tab shingle roof and put on an asphalt shingle roof. No shape changes, strictly a removal of the existing shingles and putting on a new architectural charcoal color shingle.
And could you just, yeah, there we go. Anna is going to just share the information you shared with us. If you could just speak briefly to all these.
Okay, so all the roof lines you see, that conical shape roof, the dormer windows, and the peaked roof, all that roof, the roof in its entirety is looking to get replaced. It's failed to this point with leaks going into the inside of the building. We had difficulty locating the exact strip shingle, I think they called it, and are recommending to go to architectural in the same, very similar color, which I think there's a submittal of a picture of the color that we're going to be seeking to use. All of those, every piece of roof you see, those back dormers, all of that is looking to be replaced.
I think there's a color, and if you could scroll down a bit.
Yeah, it's a circle on one page. It's that charcoal, which is very similar to what is existing there now. Now it's pretty much covered in moss, more or less. It's almost like a green roof currently.
You're changing the color.
No, it's a dark color, but it's covered with plant life growing on it currently. So underneath it was a black looking roof originally.
So this
In most of
sounds
those
like
photos, it shows a
yeah,
black roof.
right. It seems like a extremely straightforward replacement. We've approved architectural shingles. They've got a little bit more texture to them than the old three tab, and especially with the charcoal gray, which we always prefer. So anything else, Michael, or is that really what it is?
Nope, I agree. We think it's pretty straightforward request.
Okay, thank you. Any commissioner questions?
Just a quick one for clarification, Michael. The inn owns that building? Is that,
We do, yes.
yeah, okay, because that wasn't clear. Very good.
Any other questions?
Nope.
Any public comments or questions? I don't see any comments or questions from the public. May I have a motion from one of the commissioners?
I'll move that we approve the application from 32 Monument Street as submitted.
In a second.
I second.
Second.
Thank you, Louis. We'll go around to vote. Dennis,
Aye.
Louis,
Aye.
Walter,
Aye.
and wait, I've lost my fourth member here.
Bill?
Is it me?
Bill. Where's Bill?
I'm here.
Oh,
There
he
you
is.
are.
Is that an aye?
That's an aye. If I'm a voting member, I'm an aye.
You are a voting member, and I am an aye as well. Thank you, Michael. Your application is approved.
Thank you very much. Have a good evening.
We
Yeah,
appreciate your
Thank you.
Thank you
coming
very
in and
much.
presenting it.
Thank you.
Thank you, Michael.
Moving to 77 Walden Street, which is the Main Street Historic District, to refurbish 8 windows and remove and replace 24 windows. And before we have the applicant speak, I want to note that both Kate Chardner, the chair, and myself, the vice chair, went to the house. There's an emergency situation of removal of lead. And it's a highly unusual situation. And we spent quite a lot of time there talking to their contractors and window specialists about how to solve this problem. So they have come in and proposed a certain number of windows to replace. So I just want the commissioner members to keep in mind that this is a time of the essence and a very problematic situation for the homeowner, which we are working very hard to respect their situation and the complexity of these windows. It's an unusual situation as well. So I'm just want to say that as an opening. Who will be speaking to present this project?
Hi, I'm Eve. I'm the homeowner. I'm here,
Hi, Eve.
and Jesse is also on the line,
Oh
who
yeah, hi Jesse.
Hi,
You may-
good evening, Tim. Our Director of Carpentry, who you met is with us as well, Jim Hazelrig. And we also have a special guest, which is a mock-up of the window here with us as well. If anybody would like to take a closer look at the trim and what the final piece will roughly look like.
Yeah, I just want to, there was a lot of complicated talk about trim and appearance, Jesse, and replacement and all this. If you can somehow, or whoever, Eve or Jesse, explain it as best you can, the situation, so the other commissioners can begin to understand what's going on.
Yeah, so the Prestons have had they've had a lead contamination in their home due to some restoration work that they were unbeknownst to them. They were alerted to this when their child or both children tested remarkably high for lead poisoning. So we were brought in to do some cleaning work. And then since then, CLIP, which is the agency that the state of Massachusetts uses to enforce the lead regulations, especially once children are poisoned, that's when CLIP gets involved and they set the standard for what needs to be done to make the house, to bring the house into compliance. In this case, the windows are going to be a major part of that for the house to eventually have full compliance again. And right now we've completed some of the interior components and a lot of the cleaning. So the house is technically safe, but for a long-term compliance, the windows obviously largely have to be replaced. What we've proposed is that the front of the window closest to the sidewalk, front of the house closest to the sidewalk would remain original windows from the 1700s. We think we have at least 8 throughout the house that we can make fit along the first floor of the front of the house. The rest we would like to utilize really what we think is the only reasonably priced product on the market to fit the situation for the Prestons. It is not quite a wood on wood window, which would be ideal. It is a wood window that has a clad on the exterior, but this is a historically minded product that's used by contractors in our business to basically replicate the historic look that your town is famous for. We believe this is the best option for the Prestons for time, speed, money, all things considered. This is what we'd hope the commission would consider allowing us to use. Those windows would be on the top floors and along the sides of the house. And we think that with the distance created from anybody on the sidewalk, it would be very difficult for most lay people to realize that this is not a historic wood on wood window. This is a wood window on the interior with an aluminum or a clad on the outside meant to replicate the look. The reason we can't simply use the depth of the window pocket is what makes this project so challenging. The walls in some of the homes in your town are so narrow now, it is very challenging to find a true wood on wood historic styled window to even fit the pocket without basically impacting all the trim around the window. So you could end up having that window, but it would certainly wouldn't be in the spirit of the original style. All the trim work you'd have to customize to fit that window in, especially on the outside. I have Jim here with me. He's as I said, head of carpentry, and he can address any questions anybody has specifically about trim work, how this product will look when it's complete on the front of the Preston's house. Also, let me mention the 8 windows, the originals, we are going to restore those. We're going to be stripping those by hand of all the leaded components. Obviously, they will also be enhanced. They will be resealed. They will be, retrofitted essentially and put back into the bottom windows along the front of the house. We're not simply just taking off the lead paint. We are going to make, we'll keep the spirit of those, but also make them a lot more energy efficient and updated for the Prestons. That is aside from the other 24 windows.
Jesse, there are currently at least 2 third-floor attic windows that don't have storm windows on them. I believe the others currently do. Is that correct? Or
That
used
is true.
And
Yes.
so, correct me if I'm wrong, the windows, the historic windows we identified on the front of the house that you thought you could save would have storms once you're done. The new windows, obviously, you're proposing would not have storms, correct?
That is accurate. Yes.
And because they're insulating glass, simulated Dividalite windows.
Yes, sir.
And that's really, that's one of the things we were looking at when we were there was there's already a mix of some windows that have storms and some that don't, like a lot of houses, they just, for whatever reason, have a storm, don't have a storm. So we thought if we can at least have the ones clustered and there's also a mix of age of windows. Some are not, there's a few that are 1700s, but many have been replaced much more recently, correct?
That's right. That's right. There is definitely a potpourri, if you will, of windows around that house. Some are from the 90s along the front. We believe we have at least 8 originals that we can make fit along the front. But consistently throughout the house, you're going to find a number of different eras that are serving as windows right now. Some of them not functional whatsoever.
So we worked hard to understand the wood versus clad window when we were there with Jesse, and the walls are sort of weirdly thin. It just happens the clad window has a tighter frame, shorter window frame than the less depth window frame than the wood. Is it Marvin you're working with? I can't remember. It's Marvin,
Yes.
right?
It is.
Yeah,
It is
Marvin.
Marvin's ultimate line. It is a 6/6 grill, so it will keep the same look, of course.
So I'm just saying to the commissioners, normally we would not approve a clad window in a building of this age. But I just want to point out to you again, as the homeowner, and Jesse has spoken, we're trying to help them move quickly in a highly unusual situation. And so I think I'll leave it at that. Jesse or Eve, any other comments before we open it up for discussion?
No, well, yes, actually I do. As far as to maintain the look, we're going to be doing brass hardware on the windows. We're doing a white exterior, of course. And the inside would still be a primed window that it would allow the Prestons to paint it according to each window. But we're doing everything in our power to keep this, to maintain the look of the house and the consistency of the style of their home as well as the neighborhood.
I think we should, just stepping back, I think we should take a look at the photos, but whatever you have to present, just so everybody can see what's there.
Yes, sir. What we have here is the mock-up
Oh,
itself.
yeah, can we start with the photos first, Jesse? Just get our bearings.
I
And can share the whatever you had submitted.
Yeah, I
for
think
Kim.
Anne has the Marvin mock-up of the 6/6, as well as the pictures of the house. So those are the windows that are being restored. There's so there's 4 windows that look directly onto the street that you can see. There's 2 on either side of the door, left and right, and then there's another 2 kind of just around the corner, on the left and the right, and those are the ones that are being restored. These are windows that will be replaced. Likewise, windows that will be replaced. That bottom window is not going to be replaced. That is new.
Yeah, you had been there, I don't know if it's you, Eve, or previous owner, but this one was recently presented maybe a year or 2 ago on the rear deck and windows, is that right?
Yes, and so that is, we've been restoring this house for about 18 months, and our 10-month-old daughter subsequently tested for lead poisoning. So that is why you've seen us now twice in 2 years.
These are the
Jesse, do
schematics
you have-
of the ultimate, the window we propose.
I'm sorry?
So we're looking at the schematics, obviously, of the ultimate window.
Yeah.
Again, pretty consistent with the ideal look for this house. Right there,
And
these,
one of the things I impressed on Jesse was just because there's a very old sash in the existing windows that are going to be that the new window is going to go in to work to replicate, pretty much exactly keep all the exterior sill and casings as they are, and make the details work so that it's as close as possible within a 1/4 inch or whatever to replicate what's there. Jesse, I'm speaking for you, so forgive me, but
yeah, that's fine. You're absolutely right. I think the next page is a good example of if anybody wants to get into the reasoning of why this is a challenge. We can talk about the depth of the unit itself, and why the wood on woods are even thicker than what we're seeing here. We like this product because of the way it'll sit on the sill. If we do have an opportunity to show you the mock-up later, you'll see it's a pretty clean seam where it will sit on the sill. It'll be minimal impact on the exterior. We can do a lot of simple things to basically leave the wood trim as is on the house. We have to do a little bit of covering, but we're going to leave, we don't have to pull anything out per se. And the window unit itself will not be extending out, out past the exterior of the house.
any other comments before Jesse or Eve, or can we open up to commissioner questions?
I'm
No
set.
comment. I appreciate all
Okay.
the emergency meetings that were had over the holidays.
Yes, you're welcome and glad to try to help. Open up for commissioner questions.
I'm curious. You referred to grill. Just want to make sure these are true divided light windows you're putting in.
They are simulated divided lights, yeah. So because it's an insulated sash, it has an exterior muntin, an interior muntin, and then aluminum dividers in between the glass. So for appearances, it looks like a true divided light, but because it's an insulated panel, it's considered a simulated divided light, being that it has an exterior muntin applied to the exterior glass, an interior muntin that's applied to the interior glass, and then aluminum spacers to create the appearance of a true divided light.
But it's one sheet of glass that then has something applied to it.
It's two sheets of glass. It's an insulated
Okay,
pane
two sheets of glass, but something applied to the
Yes,
inside of the
that's correct.
outside.
That's correct. Yes.
And are those permanent on there, or are those?
Yes, they're permanent. Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, they cannot be removed. I mean, they're not meant to be removed.
Okay. I'm sympathetic to this, by the way, because my daughter, when she was 18 months old, had lead poisoning. She enjoyed eating the paint that I scraped off the outside of my house.
Unfortunately, that is usually the dilemma. Not in this case, but yeah, that is usually the dilemma.
She was what was called a pica child. She enjoyed eating dirt, stones, bugs, anything she could. So fortunately, it was not a bad case, but it was scary.
Yes.
And I'll ask the usual question, are the proportions of the lights changing at all?
Minimally, the frame is a little bit bigger, so the actual exposed glass is smaller because it is an insert. I would say the proportions of the lights remain the same, but they will be a little bit smaller.
How much smaller compared to the originals that will be kept?
I believe probably each individual light will probably be about a half of an inch in each direction smaller.
But there'll be
Slightly less.
there'll be consistency on the ground level.
Yes, that is correct.
Bill, I found the sketch that I actually think it looks quite delicate. It doesn't look at all heavy to me, even though the dimensions may be a little shorter.
No, this won't be the first time we've used this product in this type of home. Obviously it's a big ask as far as it's not the ideal material, but we've done it in applications that aren't quite as strict as a historic commission, and it's it performed flawlessly. Nobody, again, it takes a very discerning eye to walk by and say, hey, wait a second, that's a new window. These work very well for these applications and these homes.
And the one stray question that I have is, first off, you were talking about replacing 8 windows, and there's 7 on the front. But
There's 2 windows facing us. If you're on the sidewalk looking at the house, you're going to see 2 facing you on each side of the front door. Then that front door comes out to you. There's a bump out, and on each side of that bump out that you can't see from the front is your other 2.
Okay, so that's
and then you go around the corner of each corner. That first window around each corner is also going to be included.
So you're not referring to the full 7 on the facade.
Yes, sir. You have it. It's
Okay.
all those.
You're prioritizing the first floor, which
Yep,
that's right.
probably makes sense. Yeah.
There you go. Those 4, 2 on either side of the door, and then 1 around each corner will all be hand restored and kept original.
Mhm. Now, how many do you think you have? 8 total from the entire house that are original? Is that what
We
you're saying?
think we're looking at most of the originals right now. Not the right 2 on the bottom, but the left 2, and then at least 3 up top. And then we're confident we can find whatever we're missing throughout the house. She has 24 other windows for us to pull from.
Is it possible? And I'm very much on board for all different reasons. But is it possible that there are another 4 originals somewhere? So at some point in the future, those might be restored and put back in place?
I would say there definitely is. Yes.
Just as rather than dumpstering everything.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah. No, absolutely.
yes, sir.
That might be an aspiration.
Yes.
Yeah, I had a 1773 house where many of the walls were planked rather than studded, so they were extremely
Oh.
thin.
Yeah, so yeah, and I think that these wall pockets are about 2 3/4 of an inch thick
Mhm.
or deep. Um, so that's our biggest dilemma, trying to
Yeah,
find something that we can fit into that pocket.
I'm familiar.
Other commissioner questions? I see none. Are there any public questions or comments? My one comment is I did ask Jesse to do a mock-up, which Jesse, I think would be very hard to see on the screen. But if assuming we kind of get approval today, I think part of that would just being able to just take a look at that
Yeah,
on site
We could
after the
absolutely
fact.
we could bring that right down to you if you
Yeah,
would like, yeah.
I think the holidays kind of got in between us meeting with you before. We'd put in a request to come down, and I understand that would not have been the best time of year for such a visit, but if there's any time next week that you'd like us to stop in with the mock-up, I'm happy to do so.
Yeah, we might, if it's possible, it'd be good to see it on site with looking at the house.
Absolutely.
So I think if we approve this, that would be the one attachment for a motion is to look at the agreed upon date to look at the sample on site.
Absolutely.
I'm happy to make a motion to approve the 77 Walnut Street application with the proviso that there's an administrative review of the mock-up on site at a time to be set.
You, Bill.
Uh,
Second?
Sorry, Tim, can I
Yes.
just say one thing?
Yes, please do.
It just occurred to me, when you were saying that you would not typically approve something like this, there is a way to approve a project under hardship, and this might be a good case for that. So you can approve an inappropriate, like something that you wouldn't typically approve based on hardship, and you would issue a certificate of hardship rather than a certificate of appropriateness. I just thought I'd mention that.
Okay. So should that be part of the motion?
It could be if that's what the HDC thinks would be the best approach.
I mean, I guess that's how I've been viewing this, because I think normally we would not approve this exactly as presented. There would be a lot of debate.
I'm fine to amend the motion to add as a hardship certification.
I just want to check with Eve. Eve, I don't think this and you can correct me if I'm wrong, but I don't think this affects the homeowner in any way. And does it?
No.
Yeah, I just saw Eve. Just wanted you to let you know that.
Okay, thank you.
Could I have a second to Bill's amended motion?
I'll second.
Thank you, Walter. We'll take a vote. Walter,
Aye.
Bill,
Aye.
Dennis,
Aye.
Lewis.
Is it Lewis? I've lost track.
Me.
Lewis, right?
Aye.
Thank you, Lewis. And I'm an aye as well. So thank you, Eve and Jesse, and we'll come take a look at the sample.
We'll be in touch with Eve to set up a meeting. Thank you very much for your time
Okay,
tonight.
good luck. Good luck with the project.
Good luck with the kids. Yep.
Thank you.
The next project is 29 Monroe Place, Northbridge Monument Square Historic District, to remove and replace a lamp post and a light and add an entry light. And this is Russ and Paula Kopp. I see them there. Would you like to present, please?
Yes, hi. Thank you very much for this opportunity. I actually, I'm going to restate what you said as a request, because there are two lights. One light is above the front door.
Yeah.
That is not a new light. It's always been there. It's just that the light, when we painted the house, that light was taken off, and the builder put in sort of a builder light to allow us to get the building permit. But that light that light has always been above the house. We're just talking about now putting in a fixture there.
Replacements.
And then the second request is we currently have a lamp post, and there's pictures here. It's a 1939 Cape. The lamp post is sort of a metal tubular post that's at the sort of at the end of our driveway. It's got an old-fashioned, I sort of call it a Home Depot style light there. That's quite bright. We're looking to replace that really for looks. So we're talking about taking out the metal post and putting in a cedar post that's 4x4, painted the same color as the house, which has been approved, and then put in that fixture, which is a single bulb. It does have a top to it, so the light is not going to shine upward. And that's to replace the current light that we've got there.
So you're replacing two existing lights.
Correct.
Okay,
Yep.
thank you. It's one on the house over the door, and a new post to replace an old post, and a new light to replace the old post light. And
Absolutely.
yeah, so that's the fixture over the door.
Yep. And we were
I
able
saw
to find
you have a
a
40 watt
fixture.
or a 60 watt bulb.
Yeah, currently it's a very bright bulb, and we're talking about a light that will shine down over the front stoop, and I can put a low wattage bulb in it.
Yeah. Anything else, or can we open it up for questions?
That's it.
Thank you. Commissioner questions?
Do you have a picture of where the current light is over the steps, not the post light, but the other light?
Yes, if Ann can pull that up. So there's the front door. You can see that little white square just above.
That it would be there.
Yeah. It's just replacing that. When they painted the house, they put a new black,
temporary
a mounting block on it, right? So they replaced that mounting block.
and a temporary light.
Questions?
Pretty straightforward.
Thank you.
Any public questions? I see none, hear none. Motion, please.
We approve the application of 29 Monroe Place as submitted.
Second.
I'll second it.
And we'll take a roll call here. Walter,
Aye.
Bill,
Aye.
Dennis,
Aye.
Louis,
Aye.
and I am an aye as well. So thank you, the cops. You're approved, and you're free to go.
Thank you very much.
Thank you again.
We appreciate you
Have a
bringing
good
it
night.
in.
Good night.
Okay, the next item of new public hearings is Concord Museum presented by none other than Kate Chartner, 53 Cambridge Turnpike. Ms. Chartner, are you ready?
Yeah. Did we skip
46.
Wood Street? Did we skip 46?
Oh, I'm sorry. I missed one. I was 46 Wood Street. Mark Christopher, to remove and replace 5 existing storm doors, paint deck railings, install gutter downspout on garage. We've seen this house several times before. I see Peter, are you presenting tonight, Peter?
I am, Mr. Chairman, and I was happy to let the museum go, but I can be very quick because of the items you identified. We'd like to withdraw the replacement of the doors and the painting of the deck railings. So the only item that we're requesting, and I don't want to try the commission's patience because you've seen me before, but the only item that we're seeking your certificate on is to install simply a single gutter with a downspout on the south side of the new garage. And that is
And is
really
this-
for safety purposes. It's going to be in kind and consistent with all the other gutters.
So it's a painted fiberglass gutter,
That's
is that right? U-shaped,
That's right. And it frankly isn't visible from a public way or from the river, but we're here before you out of an abundance of caution.
we appreciate that. Thank you. So that's it.
That's it. And I hope it's straightforward, but obviously if you have any questions, I'm happy to address them.
Thank you. So this is back a ways, barely visible. I would agree with that comment. I mean, maybe it's visible from the river, which is also public right away, but these are the same gutters and downspouts, Peter, right, that we've already improved on the house.
That's
So
right.
this is one gutter, am I correct? One gutter, one downspout.
It may be, the builder did ask me to seek some consideration of flexibility if a second downspout was necessary. I'm sorry, a separate downspout. So it could be up to 2 downspouts.
The other downspout is just at the other end of the gutter, is it?
That would be right. They
Yeah.
pitch it.
Okay. Open it up for commissioner questions. Any questions? Absolute dead silence. Any public comments? I hear none. Could I have a motion, please?
I could move that we approve as submitted 46 Wood Street's application to install a gutter with 1 or 2 downspouts on the garage.
Application as amended.
Yes, as amended.
Second,
Second,
thank you. Bill, voting,
yeah, I'm an aye.
Dennis?
Should Catherine be voted in place of me since I think she may be a full member and I'm
Oh,
not?
we will, that's a good, probably should, we will switch after that. Sorry, Catherine.
No worries.
Dennis?
You want my vote then?
Yes, well,
Aye.
Louis,
Aye.
Walter,
Aye.
and I'm an aye as well. Peter, thank you for coming in front of us.
Thank you all.
Okay, we are now switching to Catherine in place of Dennis Fiore, Catherine Mast. And now we can hear about this extraordinary project at Concord Museum.
That's right. Thank you, Vice Chair Whitney. Appreciate your managing this meeting tonight. I'm Kate Chartner, 888 Sudbury Road, and I'm a member of the Concord Museum Building Committee. And we have a property at the Concord Museum called the Ranch House, and it is a little house that's actually has its own address, Ann and Kim, which I only just learned today, which is 73 Cambridge Turnpike. Did you know that, Dennis?
No.
Yeah. So anyway, so we'll need to amend the application to say 73, not 53 Cambridge Turnpike. And if you could show the pull up the pictures, because I don't have them here to share.
Just a second.
Sure. In the meantime, I can tell you, commissioners, that the ranch house is a little house that serves as office space and some additional storage space, and it dates from 1950, something like that. And it is currently heated by an old oil system, some forced air, hot air, and in the summer, window units for AC. So they are looking to streamline that and put in a new HVAC in the form of a carrier air pump. And the condenser will go, there's just one, and it will go against the back of the house. And we are going before HDC because you can see, you would just be able to glimpse where it is. So you can't quite see it here. That's why I have this picture. But if you go to the next picture, there I put the red dot. That's where it will be. That's me standing in the middle of Lexington Road in November. But you can see it from the public space. The immediate space is actually the Concord Museum parking lot, which is not considered public space. And then closer up, this is where it would be against the back of this. This is the back of the ranch house. You wouldn't see it from Cambridge Turnpike itself. And the Concord Museum parking lot is where I took this picture. And behind the Concord Museum parking lot, like behind my back, a bit of a ways, is Lexington Road. There it is again. This actually, if we can just take a look at this picture for a minute. So that's exactly where the condenser will go. It will be on a 2-inch concrete pad. I think it's 4 inches, and then it's perched on legs 4 inches above the concrete pad. And then it is 38 inches square, and it is 16 inches deep, and it will be a foot from the house. And what I just want you to bring your attention to here is these deciduous bushes are going to remain. We initially were going to take them out and put in evergreen bushes to screen the condenser and the pipe. But our consulting landscape designer, Nia Glenn, former HTC chair herself, had initially suggested some hollies, but then at looking at the site, said that they will not establish well where they are, given that they need to be at least 4 feet from the condenser and the bulkhead feet. And then that puts them right up against that asphalt curb in the lower left corner. So we're going to suggest that we keep the deciduous bushes and instead install a cedar, an unpainted to be weathered cedar privacy panel, which will mirror one that happens to be on the other side of the parking lot. And we have a picture of that as well. I don't know if we have any pictures here. Yeah, so that's that. There you go. There's the in the lower left corner, there's the start of the parking lot. So this drawing is actually 2 things. The squiggly line kind of separates it. That's a little sort of specific site plan with the privacy panel is kind of smack in the middle of it. A little bit, that little sort of, well, in the middle of the top half. Yeah, that's where it'll go. You can see, there's some existing plantings indicated. You can see there's some scale here in terms of how many feet that we're talking about. So the privacy panel that we're talking about will be 4 feet by 6 feet. The bottom half of that drawing is an elevation, basically an elevation look at what the natural cedar panel would appear like. So it's just slats that run parallel. And the next picture shows you what we're copying that's already on the other side of the parking lot. We do have a.
Do you have a cut sheet of that unit?
We do.
Chance?
Yeah. And
Okay.
I think that was the item before this and the cut sheet. Oh, all right. Well, it didn't,
That's just the top of it. Okay.
well, no, it's actually, that's the side of it. That's actually what you would see. That's sort of the elevation look. It's like it's a boxy thing.
That's a fan in a panel, right?
Well, no, there's also that, I don't know why that didn't come
And
up.
what are the dimensions? Is it 3 feet square and 3 feet high, you said, or
It's
something?
38 inches by 38 inches. And then it's 16 inches deep.
Okay.
And I don't know
Okay.
why that was a color cut sheet. And I don't know why it came out.
Are you proposing painting it?
It will be painted to, well, any piping will be painted to match the house, but in the house is kind of a dark putty color, kind of a peat color. The unit is, that sort of stone color that they frequently are. We are proposing to paint it, paint any piping to match whatever it's against, put up this privacy panel, keep the deciduous bushes.
So I guess, so if you didn't have to, if Lexington Road wasn't there, would you put up this privacy panel as Concord Museum?
Probably, we might. I mean, we have the one on the other side of the parking lot to shield some stuff, and we don't have to have that. That's not visible at all. We don't have to put it up. I mean, do you think you'd
I
rather
guess
be
what I'm
without?
asking is it sometimes in our efforts to screen things, we call more attention to the thing,
I agree with you.
Whether it's planting or a screen, you think, I mean,
Mhm.
sometimes you think if we just painted that unit a dark green or gray, maybe that's the most innocuous approach rather than trying to artificially screen it when you can see it around the edges or something. So,
No, that's actually a good point, Tim. We were going to paint it, and screen it with the evergreens, and then we just sort of pivoted
yeah,
to
which then you got this funny evergreen cluster,
that won't succeed. Well,
which may cause even more attention to it. So I agree with not. Anyway, those are my quick gut reactions. Is there anything else, Kate, or before we open it up for discussion?
I think that covers it. I'm sorry that the picture didn't come up, but it's, like just an oblong thing, and it's, it's pretty innocuous. And also, half the year it won't be visible from Lexington Road.
Right.
I'm not sure you can paint heat pumps though.
I don't know if
Sorry?
we can paint the pump. We can, we can paint the piping.
If you paint the piping, I don't think you're supposed to paint the actual unit itself. So you
What is the color of the unit? I mean, sometimes they're that sort of bright tan, god awful color. So
This isn't bright tan. It's more of like a dull stone color, but it's,
okay.
I would just say it's sort of a stone color. It's not dark, and it's not bright.
It may blend in with the house, actually. It could maybe close to the house color.
Well, it's definitely lighter than the house color.
Well, you can repaint the house to match it.
That's right.
Well, it's not a great color, to be honest.
That's the condition. You have to paint the house.
Right. That's, I mean, I don't think the museum will be coming before HDC anytime soon. Again, what I was going to say is, we can, install the carrier unit and, I guess just see how it looks, and if on inspection the HDC says, oh, this is a little obvious, well, we thought we'd have to screen it anyway. But
Somehow it seems like-
regardless of,
It seemed de minimis to me, given the distance, and you have to look down the slot to see it from Lexington Road. Living right across the street, I just can't imagine.
you have to
noticing
really
it.
look. It's true.
So then it's just this like adding this fence for what kind of thing. That's my opinion, but
It's a good point. I mean, you really do have to look for it, for sure. I mean, I know everybody says that, but you guys, I think, can take my word for it. You really have to try hard to see it. So we can, we're looking to install it within the month. We wouldn't be to tell you the truth, we wouldn't be installing a privacy panel or new plantings till the spring anyway, and we can just sort of see how it looks.
that's kind of well, I don't know. Other comments, Commissioner, questions,
I'm
thoughts?
persuaded by your suggestion, Tim. I think it is such a small piece of that visual arc from Lexington that putting the fence in is more likely to call attention to it than not.
I agree. I agree totally. Yeah.
And frankly, given the design of the piece industrially, most of what would be visible and facing is the fan on the side of that thing that you're not going to be able to paint anyway.
Yeah, I'm inclined to agree that we wait until spring and see how it looks.
Catherine, we've got a super echo from you.
I know, I don't know why.
It was so cool. It was like you're bionic.
So I guess that sounds like we're going to reject this proposal, Kate.
You know, I said I wanted the experience, but I didn't want that experience.
All right. Well, I guess the commit, you could just remove this, right? Remove
Yes.
this motion or this application.
No,
If
I don't think that's right. It's
Wait.
still, we have to approve the placement of it. We're removing the screening part of the
we
design.
approve the application, but no screening.
Or you're
Yeah.
putting in a provisional screening.
Yeah, it's provisional, right?
Okay.
And we saw the
Okay.
painting of the pipes, right? Aren't you painting pipes as part of this?
Yes, which there's
All
just
right.
sort of one pipe that's low that will mostly be kind of blocked by the unit itself anyway, if you know what I mean.
Yep.
Are there any public comments? None. Billy, you want to try a motion?
Sure. I vote we approve the application with the amendment of provisionally removing the screening fence, subject to review by the commission about 6 months after its installation. For whatever the address is, the correct address.
Oh, 73 Cambridge. Turnpike.
73 Cambridge Turnpike.
I'd second it.
Second. Thank you, Louis. Catherine,
Aye.
Bill,
Aye.
Louis,
Aye.
Walter,
Aye, aye.
and I am an aye as well. Thanks, Kate.
Thanks,
Hope you feel
guys.
better.
Thank you. This was my first application. It was very nerve-wracking. I have a different understanding for the people who come
You did
before
a
us now.
fabulous job.
Thank you. Whew, okay, I need a drink. Okay, thanks. Good night, all.
Good night.
Yeah. Okay, we've got one continued public hearing. Will Adams, 363 Main Street, to alter a carriage house by replacing windows, replacing hayloft doors. We've visited the house and it's been well, you've been in front of us at least a couple of times. Or whoever's presenting.
Hi, this is Kevin O'Brien. I don't know if you can hear me. I accidentally just dropped my laptop trying to unmute.
No problem. We can
Can you guys
hear
hear
you
me?
and see you. Thanks.
Okay, thanks. Thanks. I'm here representing Will and Christy because they were tied up with work tonight.
Okay.
And we are coming back provisionally to sort of follow up on the few meetings that we've had already. The committee graciously approved the dormer. We're set with that, and we're restoring the windows on the facade. But we took the committee's suggestion and decided to propose detaching the porte cochere from the building. And so that was a suggestion that was made that we thought really actually helped with the height. And I don't know if you have the drawing pulled up. What were the additional items that we're showing based on after our last on-site meeting? You'll see at the top left the previously submitted carport design, and below it the proposal to remove it from the building itself in order to do two things. First of all, sort of create sort of detach it from a weatherproofing and tying it into the historic building. But also it allows the existing window awning with the existing corbels to be more visible. So we're pulling that off of the building by 2 feet in order to clear that existing window awning. And what we're proposing is that rather than building a sort of roof structured addition to the building, creating more of a garden structure with a classic pergola to cover that car parking space, and actually pull the detailing from the front porch of the house for our brackets to sort of, again, like really sort of gracefully tie it in. You can see in the image on the top left that dashed circle is the area that we've all been looking at. right there. And so what we've done is we've lowered it. We've kept the width the same that we'd previously proposed in order to let the car park underneath and have the doors open under the roof. But we've significantly dropped the height of that structure to be below the existing window awning and brackets.
Gavin, you've also got some window amendments on that elevation as well to
Yep.
propose. Is that correct?
Yeah, we do. So we currently have the existing windows. I think since our last meeting on site, the drawings from the 60s after the fire were found, and to show that none of these windows are original, but we still want to keep a double hung centered on that gable end of the building as it is. You can see sort of set back the profile of the new dormer, but we'd like to add two 24-inch fixed, these are inoperable 24 by 24 windows to flank the double hung, which will be replaced in kind. And these would be all wood construction, clad exterior to match everything that's on the house. The Anderson Woodwright, wood windows with the clad exterior that are the HTCs, from what we understand, the preferred new window. And all of the other windows on that east elevation are existing to remain.
Yeah, just a correction on the windows, Kevin, is we're always preferring wood windows, not clad windows.
Correct. Sorry. Yes. I'm sorry. I'm speaking to what we used on the rear elevation of everything that was on the new part of the existing house. We would be matching what we did on the whole exterior new addition from 2 years ago. And on the front, as we sort of went through on the last meeting and approval, we're restoring all the wood windows on the front that are existing, with the exception of the new archtop hayloft window that was approved.
So you're proposing these as to be clad windows, aluminum clad.
These will be clad exterior, full wood construction clad exterior, correct?
Okay. And then I think detaching this as a pergola is great, and stealing some details from the main house is also great. My questions are, is there an actual roof on this pergola, or is it a true open pergola?
So that is, we would like to do like a zinc clad, concealed roof to protect the car from shade. I've done in historic areas before. Oftentimes I've done these with a dropped recessed polycarbonate, that you can't see from anywhere, but it lets the light through. But I think what we'd like to do is drop in a zinc, a corrugated roof structure inside the existing, inside the frame to give the car a little bit more shade.
Right. Okay. And then the second question
It would not be
is,
visible from any elevation.
Understood. That sounds reasonable. And the second question is, you've got the pergola 2 feet off the house, but that window bump out, that bay window with the shed roof, it looks like it's right up against the pergola.
It's not a bay. It's a flat window. There's no bay there. It's just the window.
Excuse me. That's right. There's an awning over a window that's flush on the wall, right?
Correct.
Thank you. Right. Is there any way the pergola can move further away? It just looks a little snug. I know you're tight over there, but
yeah, I mean, I think we're trying to be as close to. So currently, the owners have an electric car charger on the side of that building. We're trying to keep it as tight to that and keep it away from the fence. There's room there. There's a large tree that we're keeping there, that you can see in that top left image. Our goal to keep it as close as possible was to, sort of not impose on that property. There's plenty of room on the property line, but we're trying to keep it as, as close to the building as we can to make it practical, so that as they're coming from that car to the house, we're trying to minimize the amount of paved parking space that we're taking up.
Yeah, I'm gonna stop there. I'd like, Kevin, any other comments, or is that, it's those three windows plus the pergola carport?
Correct.
Right?
Those are the additions. Yep.
Okay, thank you. Commissioner, questions?
Thank you all for your time, for being patient with us with so many revisions.
Not a problem. We appreciate your patience.
It's Bill. Maybe just two things. I think the pergola is an elegant solution to the design challenge. My question is on the windows in the gable. Appreciating that they're fairly far from the street. I judge from the top left-hand photo on what we're seeing on the screen that you can see them from the street. I just wonder, is that two small window with one existing center window, is that echoing anything on the main house? I'm not an architect, so I don't know if there's a different solution, two windows as opposed to three. I was just curious
Yeah,
how you
the
settled
reason,
on that.
the reason that we sort of pivoted to that is because the dormer, originally we had the dormer on the same plane as that east elevation. And in order to make the dormer less conspicuous, we pushed the dormer in, which then makes the interior study unable to have a window on the sidewall of that dormer. And so what we're trying to do is capture some passive light in that study that's in that space now. And if you look at that elevation of the three windows, there's a demising wall between the tall double hung and the 24 by 24 on the right. And so in order to create symmetry, the 24 by 24 on the right is within a bathroom. And so I'm trying to sort of create some symmetry and then also gain some east lighting in what we lost by pushing the dormer in 2 feet.
Got it. Thank you.
That was the reason for the change.
No, I got at the margin, having a wood as opposed to a clad window, I think would be preferred, but those are my only questions. Thank you.
Thank you.
You referred to the drawings after the fire. You're assuming that gives you more play to do what you want here. Is that what you're assuming?
No, it just was the question when we had the meeting, Dennis, and we were speculating about the roof line, the original roof line of the house, and it was dramatically different from what any of us had suspected, in that it was originally like a mansard.
Right.
And we all thought that the existing roof line had been possibly modified, or so that's the only reason I bring it up, because there was a question about the age of the windows. So that was, I don't have it in front of me. I think it was like 1964 or something. So that's
Right.
the oldest. Those are the oldest windows.
Okay. I'm not gung ho on the new windows introduced. After we've gone out to so much trouble to keep this thing looking as original, well, quote unquote original as it possibly can. Although I do like the pergola approach, mainly because it can be taken down easily if at any point and isn't damaging the building at all.
Yeah, agreed. We've thought about that in terms of how somebody else could restore it back to without, compromising. I think what we're asking for with these two additional windows is really to sort of offset the light that we've lost by, I know we haven't lost anything because the committee has been gracious enough to grant the dormer to begin with, but we're just really trying to maximize some natural light.
Kevin, we lost
In
you
that-
there.
That space.
Oops.
Is it me or Kevin?
You can try dropping the laptop again.
A way that is, in any.
Yeah. I mean, you could gain the light by putting two skylights on the back, correct? You
We
could put
could.
skylights rather than sidelights and gain backlight.
Yeah, we certainly could. I think from looking at this elevation, this would be preferable, certainly, in order to get it, sort of create a little bit of balance that isn't there now. But again, we're sort of asking for sort of a compromise on recessing the dormer and hoping that that will be a trade-off that won't be objectionable.
So I think usually we don't support designing houses from their interior needs, like bathrooms and such.
Certainly.
However, because I don't have a problem with it because it's not original, because it burned down. But if it were original, I don't think I could support it. But
yeah, I think we're in a different spot than we were when we all met on site, even understanding the original structure versus what's there now.
Yeah, the existing window is weirdly high. And
it is. That will be dropped down to a 44-inch sill height to accommodate the existing structure that's in there.
Hey, Kevin, this is details, but the two square flanker windows doesn't look like it has the same sill skirt board. It's just a picture frame casing when you've got all this quite beautiful, window work down below. And it looks like you've got a proper sill on the center window. The picture framing the same size casing all the way around the window is, not the greatest looking thing. It would never been done back then. I mean, no, it's sort of done on these existing windows, but these are,
sure,
these are different. So I'm just wondering if you would consider adjusting the sill.
Yeah, I mean, we would obviously, that would be something that if you all asked us to do that, we'd be very happy to change the detailing on that. The fact that they were fixed is the only reason that it was treated differently than the operable double hungs.
I have a comment on the pergola. As you know, pergolas need to be detailed the way pergolas are detailed, and this is quite a conceptual drawing. It seems to me the committee's quite positive about pulling this off and putting it as a pergola, but we will need, true dimension drawings and the final design. This would not be the final approval for the pergola. We'd really need to know exactly what it looks like, because the pergolas aren't built the way pergolas are supposed to be built. They look a bit odd, as you know.
Sure.
So,
and I think that if we could get provisional approval on that, even I would have like Walpole Woodworkers or whoever's going to build it. This would be a cedar structure. I would have shop drawings produced for approval.
Yeah, we'd need a full design. I don't personally I hear what other commissioners are saying. It's a long way away from the street, and it's a fairly long way. It's an elevation that's hard to see, and as we've all said several times, it's replacing an old 60s or whatever window that's up in the gable now. So
yeah, one of the things we're trying to do also back there, because the view out of the back of the dormer is purely onto the train tracks, we're trying to sort of, again, create, gain some passive light in a way that also keeps sill heights nice and high so that we don't have sight lines from the neighbor, that only neighbor, and trying to really think about the, sort of capturing the light without creating too big of a glass elevation with some pretty exposed views, I would say.
Any other commissioner comments?
Yes, just running the danger of offering design here. You do have an X motif under all the other first floor windows there.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I understand these are non-operable, but if you were to take an elongated rectangular version of that X that came down to the bottom of the center window's sill, it would balance that out just a little bit and might justify the non-working square window just a little bit more. It would rectangularize it in a way that didn't interfere with internal sill height. Just a thought.
I like that.
I'm not for hire.
I think you're functioning as a designer, Walter.
Just a thought.
Um,
And since I'm speaking, I will say thank you for taking the carport off the main building. I think I was the one who was most
Yeah, well, we
concerned about
tried
that.
to really listen to the feedback and take it into consideration. So we appreciate
It's much appreciated.
Can we have any other commissioner comments? Any public comments? Don't see any. Could we have a proposal that talks about needing more final details on the pergola and
The tweaks to the windows.
well, for asking Kevin to look at different proportions, I don't want to keep dragging this out, but that means he would have to come back with a different drawing for those windows, some type of different drawing.
Could I ask a question? This might not be my place,
No,
but
go ahead.
I'm wondering if we could, just in terms of for Will and Christie's sake, if we could get approval on the size of those two windows, the contractor can order them, and I can detail the trim package, whether it's sills and an apron to match the existing double hungs, or to Walter's point, if it's detailing like an apron detail to match the cross that's underneath there now. I don't know. That might be too big an ask, but I'm just wondering if they might be able to, if we could get the approval on the size of the windows so they could get ordered with the restoration work that's happening on the front, or I'm asking, I'm doing a big ask and leave it up to you guys
It's
to tell me.
reasonable.
It's just
I don't. Walter, what? Sorry, what?
It's really just wording. I think it's quite reasonable to have provisional approval for both those things, but they both need detailed submission.
Yeah.
Details for final submission, you're saying, Walter?
Yeah, well, yeah, I mean, I have no,
Well, we're
personally
asking
speaking for myself, I have no problem with the concept of pergola. I want to see the detail, of course. I have no problem with the concept of those fixed windows, but I would like to see them better integrated into the face of
Okay. Yeah, that makes sense. So, Kevin, I think we're asking you to bear with us. Since we're asking for final design on the pergola, rather than releasing these windows, do one more pass on the windows for final approval.
Okay.
But I think just to be clear, we're saying the windows themselves, the size is fine and they can go ahead and order them. It's the detailing of how they're set into the wall.
That's how I see it, though.
Yeah.
Okay, so
that would be my ask.
Yeah.
We could release the windows sizes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. You want to try it? Somebody want to try a motion for that?
Too complicated for me.
I'm out.
Dennis.
I don't have a vote, remember?
Oh,
All right, I'll do it. I vote we provide provisional approval for the 2 additional gable windows and for the pergola design, subject to review by the commission of the final design drawings of both the pergola and the window trim and sills.
Are we approving the center window as drawn?
Yes, including the center window as drawn.
Beautifully summed up, Bill.
Second?
I'll second.
Thank you. Catherine?
Aye.
Bill?
Aye.
Louis?
Aye.
Walter?
Aye.
And I am an aye as well. Thank you, Kevin, for your time and patience.
Thank you all very much. We very much appreciate it.
Okay, good luck. We'll
See you soon.
Thank you. We'll
sometime.
be back with the revised trim.
Okay, thanks.
Thanks.
All right. Lost my piece of paper.
Other business. National Park Service.
Right, other business, Minuteman National Historic Park, discussion of wayfinding signage on Concord roads within and outside local historic districts. Margie Coffin Brown here. Hi, you're outside and it's daylight.
And there's a guy working on your sign behind you.
We cannot hear you. You are silent.
You're muted.
Now you're muted and we still can't hear you.
Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Awesome. Hi, Margie Brown. I'm with Minuteman National Historical Park, headquartered at 174 Liberty Street. And tonight I will be running through some proposed sign replacements and additions in the historic districts in Concord. Anne, do you want me to share my screen, or do you want to bring up the PowerPoint?
Can I just, while you're doing that, ask either Ann or Tim or both, the purpose of this discussion is not a vote, it's consulting commentary, is that?
I don't know.
I think we have no approval authority over this.
That's right.
According to the
You have, this is an advisory review. I think Margie had called it a good neighbor review because local historic law or local laws do not apply to state or federal government. So thank you, Margie, for, soliciting local input because, that means a lot to Concordians.
Thank you.
And just so you know, we're going to each town, and what we would like is a letter, and we include that in the contract because the people who bid on our contracts want to make sure that this type of compliance is done so that it doesn't impair their fabrication and installation work when they bid on the contract. And just to give you a little background, we have about 300 signs in the park. We have replaced 30 in advance of the April events. And so we did meet with the town on those boundary signs. And there's one pictured in the front of the PowerPoint. But now what I'd like to go over with you is 19 signs that are some are within the park, but some are outside of the park. So here's an example. There was an old sign near Miriam's Corner. We consider this a boundary sign. This sign has been replaced. And we had a wonderful April 19th event, and now we're moving into getting the rest of our signs replaced. So you can go to the next slide. The 300 signs are spread out over the 7-mile distance of the park and in 3 towns. We're just going to be focusing on the town, the signs in Concord, and next slide. And just in 3 of the 4 units. We will not be talking about signs for the Barrett Farm unit. Where we are with Barrett Farm is we really need to do a development concept plan, have an overall treatment for how we're going to open this unit to the public and include parking for the public. So we're really not quite there yet, even though the sign designers did design all the signs for the Barrett, but we're not fabricating or installing those. Well, I think we might be fabricating them if we can afford it, but we will not be installing them. So you would see us again if we were to install the Barrett signs. But we will be talking this evening about signs associated with the 3 other units of the park. Next slide. So there's a lot of different types of signs. We are not installing any new highway guide signs along Route 2 or 128. We're going to keep the ones we have out there, but we are installing some new directional signs. And so there's a little mock-up there. They tend to be placed about 5 to 6 to 6.5 feet above the ground plane. And that's so that you can kind of look under them, or you can look at the content. And so you can see what that looks like in terms of the human figure. And then the Pathfinder signs, we'll be looking at some of those. We've already installed the small building identification signs, and you'll see those around Concord, and they stand 2 feet above grade. Any questions? Okay, so just for the most part, we're doing replacement in kind. There are rules about sign sizes in terms of what drivers need to be able to see. So the typical cap size is 4 inches, but that can be modified in a historic district. So what you're going to see as I go through these signs is in many cases we have reduced this cap size, partly because people are driving a little bit slower, but also it's a historic district and we don't want to obscure the views with our signs. Next. So here's just an overall view of the signs we're going to be talking about. And we've got the 4 historic districts. And most of the signs we'll be talking about are associated with the North Bridge, but also a few in the American Mile. Any questions about this overall slide? Okay.
And Margie, I have a question.
Yeah.
Just which one of these are replace in kind more or less, and which are just a new sign? Is that
We're going to go through that. So you'll,
okay?
by the end, you'll get a good sense of which ones are replacing kind. So
Coming
okay.
right up.
Okay, so here we've got 3 replacing kinds. This is the Monument Square area. Now, 2 of these 3 signs have disappeared, but I do have photos before they disappeared. Next slide. First one, first 2 we'll be looking at. Here's the aerial photo. We're looking down on the Monument Square area. The sign up to the north. The sign designer didn't put it in the best place, so we'll look at where it used to be. And then the sign at the lower edge of the image is currently in place, and we'll see a photograph of that as well. Next, here's the 3rd location. This is at Haywood Street. Now you see some X's. The sign designers were very generous with their designs. They dropped a lot of signs around Concord that we felt we weren't interested in placing those. So you'll see some red X's. Okay, next. So here's the photo simulation. So on the left, and if you could just scroll a little bit more. So here's the former sign in the triangle in front of the Colonial Inn. And that's a sign to the North Bridge. And then there's a couple photo simulations of what that proposed sign would look like if it was 2-inch cap height or 3-inch cap height. So in our conversations, we've decided that the 3-inch cap height is too large, but that the 2-inch could go back on the post, or the sign designer put it more in the green space over by the town building. There's an existing no parking sign there, and we would try not to put our signs close to another sign. But in this case, the sign could be mounted on the same post. Okay, any questions about that one? All right, here's 2 on the left are 2 existing condition pictures, but since I took the picture at Haywood Street, that sign is no longer on that post. The post is still there, but not the sign. I don't know if someone took it as a souvenir. But what you see is an example of the 2-inch versus the 3-inch. So again, we would go with the 2-inch cap height. You also notice here the difference in font. Generally, the serif font, which you see in the existing signs, is being replaced with a sans serif font. So it's a little cleaner and a little more compressed.
I think, and this is Bill, I think the smaller size is much nicer looking, and the new graphics, including the sans serif font, is so much more readable. I think it's a huge improvement, both from a wayfinding standpoint and from a visual standpoint.
Margie, I'm looking at this, the two right photos, you're just taking the proposed sign and putting it over the existing. That's why the existing's hanging out the sides.
These are very quick and dirty photo simulations.
Okay,
but
that's fine.
also it allows you to see what it looked like in comparison with the size. They're slightly different shapes.
Yep. Thank you.
Okay. And so those were the first three, all replacements. Now we're going to look at 3 signs along Lowell Road near the intersection of Liberty Street. One is a replacement with slightly different information, and then the other 2 would be proposed additions. And we're very flexible. If the town feels like we don't want more signs along Lowell Road, we would just take these out. So next image. Here's the area looking down on the intersection. And next image. So what's interesting here, we have this sad little sign that's there now, kind of tilting. And there is another sign on there. I'm sorry I didn't add a picture, but instead of having signs on the right side of the road for traffic going northbound or southbound, it was kind of all tacked onto this one sign, which is on the other side of the guardrail. So it's not a very effective sign. So we're proposing that rather than replace multi-directions on this one post, we would just put one sign. This is for people coming to a stop at the end of Liberty Street at Lowell Road, trying to decide whether to take a left or a right. And so if they take a left, they're headed to Concord Center and the Battle Road. If they take a right, they're headed to the Barrett House. Any questions on that one?
Yeah, are we going to hang on to the historic Concord sign for the archives of the town?
Exactly. Put it in the museum.
If you would like the signs,
well, I'd love to have it, but somebody else might want it.
The contractor is on the hook to remove and dispose of all the signs. And so we really have to put in the contract. If any signs are wanted, it has to be spelled out.
I think Walter's idea is a good one. I think we would ask for the right to select some signs for a town institution.
Well, town institution, but also if we want to generate a little income for somebody.
Okay, well, just let us know because I am actively writing up the contract.
Okay.
So
I don't know if it's legal to auction things like that, but God, we're historic Concord.
If it's your sign, you can auction it. If it's our sign, you can't. So.
Well, then we'd like to have all of them.
What are you going to do with these signs?
Auction them for the 250.
Dennis, people pay for old stuff,
Yeah.
Yeah,
somebody
old
took
stuff.
one at Haywood Street. The fact that it disappeared during the peak visitor season, who knows?
Yeah. I'm just offering that up as a possibility.
That's a good idea.
Yeah, they can join the tercentenary signs that are someplace in town.
Right.
So here's a proposed new sign. so instead of a diminutive sign in the shade on the left that says, take a right for the Northbridge Visitor Center, we would add a new sign 100 feet before the crosswalk, and it says Northbridge Visitor Center with a right arrow. And so this is northbound, and then it would have a partner sign going southbound. I don't think I did a photo simulation for that. So then this is a recap of these signs for this particular area that we've been talking about. Any questions about these signs?
Margie, I couldn't place the last location. I know it's on Lowell Road, but where's that?
As soon as you cross the bridge, you're coming out of town, you cross the bridge, and that's the right turn on Liberty.
Go back the other way, down.
Down.
Page down, yeah. Okay, so this shows you within that teal green, those are the two new proposed signs for the Northbridge.
Okay, so that photo on the street was that location?
Yes.
Where the cursor is, yeah.
Oh, I didn't recognize it as Liberty. Okay.
And you see the crosswalk. So we'd want to be 100 feet before the crosswalk so that we're not having two signs too close together. And that kind of placement, that will be reviewed by Concord Engineering and DPW. So
I travel that road every day. That sign is needed. There are confused people there all the time. So.
Okay, well that's very helpful to know. We just assume people are using navigation, but I see people there's so many intersections to get around this part of Concord. Okay, so next area is we are moving to the Upper Liberty Street and Monument Street area, and we have 5 signs, 3 of which are replacements, 2 of which are proposed new signs, which we've kind of waffled on, and so I'll show these 5 to you. Again, the aerial photos. So what you notice about these photos is look at all the other signs, right? We're now really in the park. People are arriving at the Liberty Street parking lot in the left image. They're getting a lot of information about how to park and what our rules are. We already have a sign at the junction of Liberty and Monument, but it's only a one-sided sign, so we're going to propose a two-sided sign there. And then once we're down on Monument Street, that's where all the buses are coming in. People are crossing Monument Street to go down to the North Bridge. And so, I put circles around the signs that we're looking at that are along the roadway. Okay, so now we're going to look at some photo simulations. So this is a kind of an ineffective sign because it's really not the Minuteman Visitor Center. It's the Northbridge Visitor Center. We have a separate place called the Minuteman Visitor Center in Lexington. And so here is the new proposed sign. And you see how this sign is really different in shape. But we have a lot of bicyclists that use Liberty Street. And so we'd rather have a sign that's very narrow and tall, and you can look under it, versus one that's very wide. And, it's a narrow road. The bicyclists is very popular for biking. So anyway, we're trying to be respectful of all of our road users. Next. So here's another existing sign, also a little bit confusing. Please disregard the direction of the arrow. The sign designers are just being efficient. When the sign is fabricated, the arrow will point in the other direction on this side of the sign. but this will be a two-faced sign. And so anyone coming southbound on Monument Street would see the sign as well. Any questions?
I think the vertical as opposed to horizontal does do as you describe. It obscures less of the landscape.
Yeah, and they're going to be higher. So you basically would look under them unless you were using the sign and needed to look at it. Okay, next. Okay, so here's one that we're waffling on. When you come over the bridge at Monument Street, there's an existing sign that says pedestrians ahead. So that's warning you about the people who cross Monument Street to see the North Bridge. If you look on the right-hand image, you see a tiny little sign. That would be a parking ahead sign. Next. Okay. And then as you get closer to the parking lot, this is replacing an existing sign. And so that little sign is saying, okay, now you turn, you're going southbound, and if you want to go into the lot, you've got to turn at this point. And I put in 2 of these because this is a very congested area. So the next image is you're a little bit closer to the sign. Okay, so this is where people turn in to the Monument Street lot, and I thought it was very helpful at our last meeting. Someone pointed out that there's no break in the double yellow line. And so that's something that, we'll follow up with the town and see if we could get a double break in the yellow line, because that's just another indication that it's okay to turn. If people miss this turn into the Monument Street lot, they're forced to take a really sharp, kind of hazardous turn to go into the southbound entrance of the Monument Street lot. Okay, one more.
Yes? Do you mind backing up a slide for before you cross the bridge?
Yes.
I'm sorry, one more there.
This is after you cross the bridge. So the view is, you can just barely see
You're on the bridge,
2009.
Yeah. Yep.
But that van is off of the bridge, and pretty sure. And then that sign would be well off of the bridge and on the outside of the guardrail because it's a very narrow road section there.
The reason I'm curious, this is where I ride my bike. It's a very dangerous area. Of all the areas you've displayed, this is the one where it's like the most life-threatening. And I'm just thinking out loud whether having another sign, maybe even closer to the bridge, would help slow people down. And when I say dangerous, I mean for the pedestrians. People do move quite quickly through there. I just wonder whether moving that sign on the right a little closer to where the photograph's being taken might help. But
well, we try to keep them 100 feet from other signs, just so each one kind of stands on its own.
Yeah.
And so I might not have captured that in terms of my photo sim.
Anyway, it's worth your designers or engineers standing there for an hour or so and just watching, because those signs might help what's a pretty dangerous place.
I also don't understand why
the town that we should install these signs, the parking ahead signs.
For sure. Anything that helps slow people down, like a sign that you have to read.
Anybody know why when they redid the bridge, they made it so damn narrow?
Yeah, good question.
It's historical.
It's historical.
It's ridiculous going through there. Anyway.
Yeah. Okay, one more parking ahead sign, and this would be for northbound. And so it would be there it is. So that's at the Elisha Jones property. That's one of the park sites, the Bullet Hole House. And this would be 100 feet beyond Ripley Hill Road. And so if you were to sort of pan your eye to the right, we've just restored an orchard in the Elisha Jones side yard field. And this is a pretty small sign. It's 20 inches by 20 inches. So okay with that one, everyone? Okay. All right, we're going to move on. So that's just a recap of those signs. And then moving on to the next area, we're going to jump over to American Mile and the Wayside and Miriam's Corner. Some of these signs are not technically in American Mile, but they're pretty darn close. So these are all associated with parking sites. So for the Wayside, it simply says turn. That's where the parking lot is. But for Miriam's Corner, there's 2 warning signs that parking is ahead. And then there's 2 signs very close to the parking lot that say time to turn. Okay. So here are the aerials. You can see in the one for the Wayside, the sign designer didn't really respect the crosswalk. And so that Lexington Road sign would actually, we'd move it away 100 feet. So that would be to the west of where that circle is because of the crosswalk. And then Miriam's Corner is very straightforward. Those are all replacement in kind in location. Okay, next. We are going to eliminate an existing sign. It's kind of funky. It's in front of a residential house. It's a little too far from the parking lot. And we probably don't need duplicate signs. Next. Now here's an interesting dilemma. There's another sign on the pole, and I talked to the installation crew today, and they said, well, no, they're really not allowed to install signs on poles. So I think we can just imagine that sign gone as well. I did do a photo simulation of the sign on the pole, but that's unlikely that that will go there. So the photo simulation that we do have in this series is on the far right. That is a sign that is in the Wayside property itself. So it's really not in the right-of-way. And so we would replace that sign in kind in location. Okay, and then Miriam's Corner. So these signs, we've talked about whether they should be 3-inch or 4-inch cap height. Most of our other parking lots are on Route 2A, and so those will be 4-inch cap height. But these ones being in an area where people are moving a little more slowly and we have a big open landscape, we're going to go with the 3-inch cap height. Okay, and next. That's just a summary again of the signs. I didn't do a photo simulation of the Brooks Village sign, even though it's in Concord, because that is up on Route 2A, and we will be running that through compliance with Mass DOT, and that will have the 4-inch cap height. Next. Okay. A couple of signs on Town of Concord owned land. We're back in the North Bridge unit, right at the North Bridge parking lot and the LA down to the North Bridge. We will be replacing all of the regulatory signs that are within the parking lot. They're all pretty tired, pretty tilted, maybe missing. So pretty much replacement in kind. And so didn't really need to feel the need to do photo sims for those. But 18 and 19 are more notable signs. One's a replacement, one's new. So let's go to the next slide and look at those. And this is an example of an information kiosk. So gotta ignore my title block there. 18 is an example of an information kiosk sign. So this includes a bulletin board, and we have a bulletin board at this location. This is very close to the Comfort Station. And as people are walking to the LA, they're going to stand and look at this sign. It has all of our rules. We're really happy about having our rules a little bit more noticeable because we've had a lot of metal detecting in the park, and we have no signage that says, you know, you can't metal detect. And so that makes it really difficult for our law enforcement group. But you can see there'll be a lot of information. The other one is it's got a physical location on it. So if there's any kind of emergency, people know where they are if they make a call to 911. So any questions about this information? And it's called a kiosk, but it's just flat. Okay, next sign.
A question about the previous slide with the handicap parking. Is there a reason that it's just a wheelchair or not a parking symbol on that as well?
Like no, would there be a, well, it is.
Just even a P in the top corner of the wheelchair part of that.
Well, it is at the head of the parking site. So, so the paint delineates. So there's a lot of other stuff.
If it's self-explanatory, that's fine. I'm impressed by the.
As someone who's handicapped, that's the handicap parking sign.
It's well understood. Yeah, that's all I'm asking.
And I think the big thing is they're not brown anymore. You know, the Park Service typically made all of its signs brown.
Right.
And now we're moving towards the more universally recognized colors.
Yeah,
so
it's just that the consistency of the P for all the other parking rather than spelling out parking, you know, makes it very clear. And that's the parking that does not have that on it. That's all.
Okay. All right. Well, we have a whole new phase in this. So I can ask that question of the fabricator installer and just make sure we're getting the clearest message on that. Now here's a new sign, and this is I kind of laugh about this one because if you stand in the Northbridge parking lot, sometimes we help people park there when it's busy. They say, well, where's the Northbridge? Where's the Northbridge Visitor Center? So this little sign is going to be pretty close to the crosswalk, and it's going to have some great information. Where are the restrooms? Where's the Northbridge Visitor Center? And then on the back side, it will have the Robbins House. And, you know, there's sort of an efficiency to having things on both sides of the sign. But, you know, I'd like you to really take a close look at this because maybe Robbins House should be on both sides of the sign. But the reason it's on the back side is that you would, as you walk past this, you would be looking towards the Robbins House. So, but anyway, that is a new sign in the Monument Street parking lot. And I think, let's see, just final two slides are, this is how they calculate the size of the sign and with the letters. And then the final slide is the email for our park superintendent if you do have any follow-up information or questions. All right, and so to recap, thumbs up on the new parking ahead signs on Monument Street, and then a question about the accessible parking signs. the design of them. Any other questions?
Just a provision that we get the signs. They're taken down for Walter's retirement fund.
No, for the greater good.
Seriously, I think some of those people would,
Yeah,
institutions or people would like.
the greater good of the town.
All right. I will ask what happens with the old signs.
No, you'll demand that we get.
That's not my nature.
I know.
Walter lives at 175 Sudbury Road, so you can put them in his driveway.
Okay.
Very well presented. Thank you.
Yeah, it's very, very, very well presented and seems very consistent.
Well,
Looks good.
we are looking forward to a wonderfully written letter to accompany our signed contract. So thank you for listening and thank you for your comments. And if you have any other thoughts, please follow up.
Okay.
Great.
Thank you.
Thank you, Margie. Appreciate it.
Good night.
Good night.
I assume Anne writes the letter. Is that how this happens?
We'll have to ask Ann.
Sure.
All right.
If you'd like me to, I'm happy to.
Good.
Thank you.
Thank you, Ann.
Good night.
Night.
So, Jeff Adams, are you still hanging in there? I haven't seen Jeff. Jeff? From the museum, from the library.
Oh gosh, that might have been my fault. I didn't reach out to him, and I'm not sure if Kim did either. I think I said I would, and then I got caught up in writing warrant articles and annual reports. Sorry.
Was
I
it
didn't reach out to him either, and I thought you may have done that, but I should have followed up with you as well.
I thought we were
To,
supposed to
the
look
next
at.
meeting?
Yes, exactly. I think you were just supposed to look at them and discuss, because we got sort of
I think everybody knows what we're talking about. I hope there's a sample on the library, little piece of storm window facing the lawn on the left lower window. If you haven't seen it, you must go see it. Because I think it's an issue we need to really look at and discuss.
Okay.
Otherwise, it gets
Now?
deferred until next meeting, Anne, right?
Can you
yes,
describe why it's an issue? What about is an issue?
Well, it's clearly a painted window, casing, trim, columns. There's this kind of pewtery white color that is not white. And the storm window they're putting on is white. So it is not a match in my mind, not very similar.
It's a little disconcerting.
So but I don't know. I don't think we should discuss it without them in person.
No.
That's there. I just discussed it. But that's it's the color. And we're putting a very bright white storm on a not really very white window. Beautiful wood windows.
So we'll put that for next time.
Next time. And we have some draft minutes we need to approve.
What about the we don't have a quorum for the art museum? I mean
No, because three of us can't vote. So
Okay.
Unfortunately, that is so the next meeting we will be searching for anybody and everybody to come to vote. I also, Jeff Young, you've disappeared, but your computer is on. I wanted to introduce Jeff if you didn't know. He is about to become the newest member as of the next meeting. And he's disappeared.
He's gotten so bored that he's fallen asleep
Yeah.
on that comfortable looking couch.
It's a long haul. He's asleep on the couch. But anyway, I I met Jeff a year ago and just thought he'd be great, and he accepted. And he just has to sign the paper. So he will be joining us at the next meeting. He's a architect slash builder type and has a lot of construction knowledge and design knowledge.
Right.
So meeting minutes, we have 10/1/25, 10/22/25, 10/22/25 site visit. So we have 2 meeting notes and a site visit. And I skim these. I have no comments, but does anyone else have any comments?
Everyone else read them in great detail, right?
Yes,
I have no
especially our
comment.
secretary.
Yes. I went through everything. There were a couple of just very minor things, which I believe were that Kim rectified.
Okay.
So
Any other comments?
No. Yeah.
Do we have to vote on these? I can't remember.
Yes.
Could we have a vote to approve these minutes as submitted?
So
Just
moved.
All say aye. Raise your hand.
Aye.
Aye. We will be having next meeting also a vote on officers for 2026. We will explain it then. Not a big deal, but if you're interested in running for an office against the current office holders, you're
Or
allowed to
running
do it.
from an office.
Or running from an office like Dennis probably is.
Dennis wants to be the town CFO, I hear.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
Otherwise, I think we're done, and somebody want to make a motion to conclude.
So moved. Good night.
Second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Thank you, everybody.